Happiness. When what you say and what you do and what you think, it's all in harmony, is when you find happiness. My name is Avi Golzad, and I was born in Tehran, Iran in 1974, which is the period of time that the revolution, and right after that, the war in Iran between Iran and Iraq started, which forced my parents to make the hardest decision in their life to send me and my brother to Sweden. So in 1985, me and my older brother were sent to Sweden, Gothenburg, Sweden. So we arrived to Gothenburg, and I spent the rest of my childhood in Gothenburg, Sweden. And it became who I am and what I stand for, and it shaped me and what I do. I met my lovely wife in Sweden, and soon realized that because she was blonde, not blind, she's not from Sweden, and soon realized that I have to move to United States because she's from Dallas. So here I am in Dallas, and I've been here ever since. Now, over my life, I've experienced a lot of different things. I've gone through a revolution, a war, being smuggled to another country. So I've seen a lot of bad side of human beings, and I've experienced that. However, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the generosity and the kindness of the people that allowed me inside of their home and showed me how the new things, the new way of life is. So one of the things that I really got my interest growing up in Sweden is our love for nature and how nature is a big part of our everyday life. So when I became an artist, it was very obvious that I was gonna use recycled material to create my art. So I chose cardboard just because I had access to a lot of it. So because of my background as a designer, I started creating a lot of objects that was my surrounding, what made sense for me to do. However, a lot of times I felt like there was something missing. There was something that didn't have that power that I wanted to. So I just started thinking about it, and it was very obvious to me, you know, I should tell everybody my story. Growing up in Iran, I didn't watch cartoons. I turned the TV on and I saw young soldiers going to war, or the bodies of those young soldiers coming home. And I wanted to share that story. I wanted to tell what I saw and what I went through, and I'm not the only one, and how this affects your entire life, and how it, even as a grown-up, these are the things that would affect you, the way you think, the way you act, and how you react to other things. But I also want to tell the stories of other people that I've met during my travels. Maybe a story of an Afghani girl that gets up every morning, gets everything ready, makes sure everything's clean, she washes the dishes, she gets the boys ready to go to school. She even makes sure that she has the boys making their homework, and then she has to walk them to school and sit outside and wait because she is not allowed to go to school. I want to tell the stories of these people because I've heard these stories. I want to tell you about the story of a 9-year-old African girl that was, in exchange for her dad's death to another guy, was given away for $11. I think these stories need to be heard, and I'm trying to do that with my art. I want to tell this story about a 14-year-old Somalian boy that I met in Gothenburg, Sweden, that told me that he had nightmares every night. But it wasn't about the fact that his parents had died. The nightmares were about the fact that he could not take care of his younger brother after his parents had died. And of course, he died too. So now, for the rest of his life, he feels responsible because he could not provide for his younger brother. And I know a lot of times these stories sounds like they're too far away, but sometimes we have a role. Like all thousands and thousands of children in Iraq that during the war have lost their home, and they're hungry and they're in streets of Baghdad. And as much as I love democracy like everybody else, that is not bringing them food. And I also want to tell you guys that we have to realize that these things are happening closer to us than we know. There are millions and millions of children here in our country, in Dallas, in our homes, close to our homes, that are sleeping every night hungry. A lot of times my work takes me to a bad place, my research especially. However, I don't want my art to be a negative message. I don't want my art to have a negative message. The message that I have is a message of hope. And I'm simply asking us, what do we want to be remembered as a generation in the history books? Do we want to be a word, a sentence, or entire chapters of successful stories that tells everybody what we have accomplished? I want you to stop and imagine what we can accomplish if what we say and what we do and what we think are in sync. Thank you very much.